You know what time it is.
Jaman.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to the Cali High Podcast. This is your host, Chenzo Nico, and I've been a cannabis connoisseur for 50 years. On the Cali High Podcast, we will talk all things cannabis as they relate to California and beyond, from the history of buds in the state to the laws that now govern its use, to notable personalities in cannabis and how they shape the industry in California and the world, to growing personally and professionally, indoor and outdoors, from flowers to concentrates, edibles to topical cannabis creams, and the people behind the scenes. Reports from dispensaries, cultivators, medical patients, historical documents, and of course, recreational users. Hi folks, this is your host, Chenzo Nico. Welcome to Cali High's 4th episode. I'm here with, as always, Joe, the sound guy.
Hi, I'm Joe, the sound guy.
Why does he always sound better than me?
Because I get close to the microphone like this.
Okay. Well, he's Joe, the sound guy, that's why.
Episode 4.
Yeah. And we go back to LA Cannabis and we talk to Erin, the receptionist.
First person you see.
First person you see.
Yeah.
We were treated to a visit to the lab where we talked to Magdalena and Madel, and they explained their extraction process for full spectrum oil.
And they blinded me with science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we were back talking to Adrian.
Yeah. Who's the guy?
Back in the showroom.
Yeah.
And all the products that LA Cannabis has to offer, he did his best to explain.
Yeah. So we should start with Erin.
Well, she'd start with Erin.
We should.
The first person you see.
Give her your driver's license.
I forgot my wallet.
Oh. All right, I'll use mine.
So, Cali High is down here today at LA Cannabis's 3rd location, or is this the first location? I'm going to call it the first location. We're on St. Andrews here and 60th Street, and we're in the front office here with Erin. Hi, Erin.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Awesome.
Hey, can you tell us what somebody has to do when they first come in here? Like
So
a
pretty much,
new patient?
when a new
What
patient
can they
comes
expect?
in, they can expect, to be greeted at the front desk. We'll typically take their cards. We'll let them know that we'll queue them into our database and that they have the option to log into our iPad system, our Blackbird, which pretty much allows you to gain points every time you come in. You log in with your cell phone number, you gain 20 points for that day. As the points start to accumulate, you can use them in shop. So pretty much like free money in a way for just remembering to queue in. So then we log them in and then we call them up as soon as we have a free bud tender. And then the bud tenders take it from there.
Excellent. And what's the best thing about being up front here?
I get to see and greet all the beautiful faces when they come in.
Mm-hmm. And do you get to know them after a while?
After a while, yes, we do get regulars after a while. And it becomes like friends, family.
Uh-huh. That's cool. Oh, we never turn anybody away, do we?
No, we don't. Hi, how's it going? First time returning? First time returning? Awesome. You all can go ahead and grab a quick seat. I'll cue you in and we'll call you up.
So, Erin, what are the most busiest times of the week?
Typically, the busiest times in the week, I would say sometimes a Wednesday, definitely a Friday, yeah, and the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Even though sometimes it fluctuates. It'll just be a random Monday, and it'll be a heavy stream of traffic. Party of 4, you can come on back. Party of 4.
What's the largest party we let back all at once?
Ooh, the largest party we've let back that I've queued in at once was, I think, a party of 12. Yeah, and I think we had 3 bud tenders on the floor. Here, John. Here, John.
So once the
The party,
licenses are
the other
all...
one for Adrian.
Adrian's not done yet.
Oh, I thought they were coming out too. I'll buzz them. Wait.
So we buzz them into the lobby.
So we buzz them into the showroom.
In the
So when they
showroom,
hang out
yeah.
here, they're in the lobby. When we buzz them into there, they're in the showroom.
Do we have any famous people coming here?
While I've been here on shift, no.
No?
Wait. No. And if they did, they were very inconspicuous about it. So I didn't know. But like I know 2 Chainz, he visited the shop on Obama and Second. So, but no, he didn't come and hang out with us yet. Hopefully, yes, yet.
On an average day, how many people do we see about?
On an average day that flows through our doors, anywhere from maybe 250, maybe to maybe 3. But on a heavy day, a little bit over 400. Yeah.
Interesting. It's a lot of people and a lot of licenses to log in.
Yes, and I try my best to get them all in by the end of the day, or the end of my shift. Yeah.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Erin.
No problem.
Wow.
That was great hearing from Erin.
She can juggle, I bet, too.
She's a multitasker.
Yeah, very much.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Great person to have at the front desk.
Yep.
Very personable.
That and the bulletproof glass. Yep.
Yeah.
What's next?
Okay, well, now we move on to the science segment where we visit the extraction lab with Magdalena and Madel.
And Louis the Science Guy. No, that's a different show.
It is loud in
It
here.
is, yes.
So here we are at LA Cannabis's science lab. I guess that's what you call it back here, right?
Yes.
We're with Magdalena and Madel. And what are you guys doing back here?
Well, we take flower directly from cultivation out here and we turn it into extract.
Really?
Yes.
So extracts for like vaping cartridges?
Yes, specifically for vaping cartridges, but we hope to expand in the future.
And can you walk us through that process a little?
Actually, Madel gives really good tours, so I'll let you handle it.
Oh, okay, sure. So we start out over here at the shredder. So we'll receive flower from distribution with all their manifest and, chain of custodies and whatnot. We'll shred the flower before putting it into the extractor so that we can maximize the amount of extract that we get for a volume of flower. So we'll shred it through here, we'll lay it out, and we'll take it over to the extractor, which is in this corner. It's the very loud instrument that you're hearing. So here we have these 2 tall canisters, which is where the flower actually goes through. Sure. So this instrument is actually hooked up to carbon dioxide, which we take to a supercritical level. It flows through the bottom of the instrument up through the top, and it goes through this very long series of lines, and then it comes out here as extract. So we have these vessels here, and you can see it's a little bit dirty from our previous extract. But this process typically takes us about a whole working day.
A whole day, and then we keep it overnight, and then we come in the morning and then just take out whatever was left from the vessel. So to ensure that everything, all the cannabinoids are gone, and that the flower that's here has 0 THC.
Wow, so how do you make sure that they have 0 THC?
So we test the flower beforehand using our in-house HPLC, and then we test the flower afterward. So after clearing out this vessel, there's sort of a threshold for the time that you run the flower, and then there's a certain point at which you're pretty sure that all of the extract is gone, and we test the spent flower afterwards to make sure.
Now, Armin told us you guys were making full spectrum.
Yes,
oils?
that's correct.
And what is the difference between a full spectrum oil and a non-full spectrum oil?
So I think the best comparison is comparing full spectrum to, say, distillate. So when you're distilling flower, you're only taking out the THC. You're holding it at a very specific temperature and pressure so that all you're pulling out is THC, and that's how you achieve those 90% or higher distillates. But when you're taking full spectrum, you're really focusing on pulling everything you can from the flower that already exists there.
Every natural oil.
Every natural oil. So you'll have the terpene profile from the original flower, and it will be conserved through the process.
Right, so it gives you the full spectrum high
Yes.
as well as taste.
Exactly.
Wow, what a concept. So this is a big machine. How much does this cost?
I actually looked it up online, and I think it was $145,000, and then they were selling one at eBay for like $75,000. So if you want to pick one up,
A used
one.
extractor.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still a little fuzzy on this thing.
Sure.
Okay, that thing was a giant like grinder,
Yes,
right?
it's a
Okay,
grinder.
and you bring it over here, then you put it in here.
Yes.
And these are the big tubes, they're cylinders.
Yes.
Big silver cylinders. And So what then happens? It heats it up, or do you use the
Yes,
CO2?
so these
what does
canisters
the CO2 do, actually?
are heated.
they're heated.
So actually the CO2 flows from this big recycler over here. So something that's very important is that we try to conserve as much CO2 as possible. So what you're actually doing is you're running CO2 through this entire line, but it's recycling it every single time. So you're not just pushing CO2 through and then it's suddenly going up into the air, you're recycling it through.
Oh, that's
So
excellent. So
the
we have a
CO2
smaller carbon footprint here.
Yes, exactly. So CO2 comes through the back here, and down here there's actually a chiller. So the system does several things with temperature. It cools it and it heats it. But specifically, when it's going through this part here, this is our very large pump that costs a lot of money and was custom made for this equipment. It pulls supercritical CO2 through the flower, and
What
it
is-
goes from the bottom up to the top.
What is supercritical CO2 as opposed to not so critical CO2?
Right, so the typical way it's explained is that there are 3 phases that matter comes in. It's solid, liquid, or gas. And we know that CO2 in the air is a gas. But when you bring it up to a high temperature and pressure, it actually reaches a supercritical phase, which is sort of the line between liquid and gas. So you think of it as this super fluid, everything is very soluble in it, and so you'll pull out all of your extracts through the flower that way.
So it's a liquid then when it goes through us.
So it's technically a superfluid.
Superfluid.
It's technically this this very specific phase.
Hovering on the line between gas and fluid?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes I feel like my brain is hovering on the
No,
line
I mean, if
between
you want to learn
gas
more,
and fluid.
if you want to learn more, I guess, just for anyone out there, you could look at phase diagrams. So
Right.
there's water. Well, water, for example, comes in liquid, gas, and solid. And there's actually a point in a phase diagram that's called the triple point, where water exists in liquid, gas, and solid form. Which is, it blew my mind when I first learned that. But
And that's
basic
due to
chemistry.
pressure or what
If you put water at a certain temperature and pressure, yes, you
Yeah.
can get that triple point.
temperature and the pressure?
Yeah,
Right.
so it's like the same thing we're doing with the CO2, except instead of getting it to the triple point, we're taking it to a supercritical point.
Now, is this a much cleaner method than, say, butane or alcohol?
Oh, absolutely. So something that's great about CO2 is that, as we know, it exists in a gas phase at normal room temperature and pressure. So when you're pulling it out of the instrument, there is no CO2 left in it. It just dissipates into the air. As opposed to butane, which you usually have to pull through some sort of rotary evaporator to pull off, and then you have to figure out what to do with that butane afterward.
Right. And if it's not done right, it tastes horrible.
Yes.
And it's bad for you.
Yes.
Well, this is interesting. What a great little machine here, or group of machines all working in concert together.
Yes.
And so, is there like a little jar of this oil that we can look at somewhere around?
Yeah, so we actually have some oil and some cartridges that are prepared if you would like to take a look at them.
Sure, let's go look. Don't let yourself get sucked up there, Joe.
I know.
She's just grabbing the key right now,
Okay, cool.
as we have to keep it all locked up.
Oh, yeah. Keep it away from people like us.
Well, we're keeping a watchful eye on you guys.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds good. It's a big safe.
Big safe. There we go. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness gracious,
so-
great balls of fire.
We're sitting on some cartridges here, and we also have some extracted oil down here that's just waiting to be put into some cartridges.
Can I pick one
Yeah,
up?
sure. Go ahead. You can take a smell of it if you want also.
Oh, that looks like the oil I used to make. And so, how do you, this becomes this.
Yes,
How do you thin it out?
you don't thin it out.
You don't thin it out.
All we do is heat it. We only heat it. We don't cut it with
Oh,
anything.
excellent. So then it is full spectrum.
Oh, yes, of course. That is our goal here.
Wow.
Thank you.
And how do the batches differ? I guess you got to take different batches from different strains, right?
So we've only worked with one strain so far. This was all made from Moonwalker OG.
Really?
Yes,
Skywalker OG?
Moonwalker OG.
Moonwalker.
Yes.
And do we call that Moonwalker or do we call that something else?
We'll talk to our boss about that.
Good answer. Okay. Well, thanks, girls.
Yeah, absolutely.
This has been great. Do we
Not
need to
always
ask
appealing.
Armin for a basketball court?
I think the guys in front would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping for a ping pong table.
Oh, actually, that would be great. I
Yeah.
love ping pong. Is there anything else we can do for
No.
you guys?
Do you think there's anything we missed?
No, I think that's the basics since you mostly asked about the extraction
Okay.
process. Of
Let
course,
me
there's
ask one
other
last
stuff.
question. How long does the oil in the vape cartridge? How long does that stay fresh?
Oh, so there's actually a lot of research being done on that right now. So we just attended the Emerald conference where we learned a lot about the potential harmful compounds that form as a result of being left in the cartridges for too long. So something that's been of concern is actually heavy metals from the vape cartridge itself, from the atomizer. So more research is being done on that. I can't say for sure how fresh it'll stay for how long.
Is there a state guideline for how long cartridges can be left
No,
out?
well, there are for state, but it's varying a lot
From state
from
to
state to state.
Yeah.
So I think they're still very much working on that.
Interesting, because I know that oils go rancid after a while. I mean, at least
Yes.
olive oil does, right? So you would think all types of oil have a certain shelf life.
Yes, definitely.
That's interesting. Well, I'll be interested to find out the answer to that. Okay. And how was the conference? You had a good time and
Oh,
you
yeah.
learned
We
a
learned a
lot?
lot, but at the same time, it's like we didn't learn anything because not everyone know. Like, well, no. Well, like she actually said, put it into these words. It's like the more you know, the more you don't know.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, it's like there's still a lot to be researched and a lot to find out. And hopefully the good people of the sciences are working on it, people in research. So yeah.
Excellent. Hopefully more diligently than, well, we won't go into our government now. No. All right. So what was the name of the conference?
The Emerald Conference.
The Emerald Conference. Was it mostly on distillates?
No, so it's actually a lot about analytical chemistry and the instrumentation they're using in order to determine like how much heavy metals are leaching into our compounds and the best ways to optimize extraction and whatnot. So
Oh, wow.
I think it covered a very broad spectrum of everything that's involved in the cannabis industry and also a lot of medicinal research as well.
And who sponsored that?
Emerald Scientific, and they're also working with MJ Biz now. So MJ Biz just acquired the Emerald Conference.
Interesting. Are they working multi-states or just California? Or?
I think right now they're focusing on keeping the Emerald Conference in California. I think sort of what they're pushing for is that it's the go-to scientific conference, and I think MJ Biz is trying to keep it there. Mm-hmm. But they do hold scientific symposiums at other conferences.
Interesting. Well, thank you very much once again on behalf of Cali High. We appreciate you talking to us.
No, thanks for coming into LA Cannabis Co.
Our pleasure. Okay. LA Cannabis's two amazing scientists, Magdalena and Madel, took us on a little tour of the extraction room. That was amazing, wasn't it?
I needed Google to reference several of the. I can't even speak anymore. I'm sorry. What were they talking about?
They were talking about supercritical CO2 and how it's used as a solvent in the extraction process of cannabis oil, full spectrum cannabis oil.
For the vaping stuff, right?
Yeah, they put it in vape cartridges.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of vaping.
Well, you would be if you had a job and you had to get high while you fucking hiding from your boss and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Where's Joe? I don't know, but it smells like strawberries in here. Okay.
Yeah, I like the terpenes that are not cannabis terpenes. I'm not into them.
I don't even know what a terpene is.
Terpene is like a natural flavor extracted from an organic plant or fruit, in this case.
Okay.
You're talking about strawberry.
It's becoming a cooking show.
Well, exactly. They were cooking freaking full spectrum oil.
Phil Spector, who?
His brother, bro.
Okay, wait a minute. All right. We heard from the scientist. We got all heady and stuff. All right. Now we go to the retail side, right?
Yeah, we go to the retail side. We go to the showroom, and we talked with Adrian, the most knowledgeable bud tender I've seen in a while.
Cool guy.
Yeah, very cool guy. He explains what's in the store and what the patient's like
And how much it
and
is.
customers.
Yeah.
If you got a medical card, you're a patient. If you don't, you're a customer. And you have to be 21 instead of 18. That's an interesting thing. For another episode.
All right, somebody's backing up.
Somebody's backing up.
Somebody's backing up.
Let's get on the bus.
All right,
It's a magic bus.
we're now entering LA Cannabis
Here we go.
Company. We're on.
We're live? We're recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go in here and talk to Adrian.
Restricted area. Employees only.
Don't you feel like special?
Yeah.
Every time I walk through the door.
Special.
Feel special.
Special.
So we're here at LA Cannabis, the first location at St. Andrews and 60th Street. And we're talking with Adrian here today, one of our bud tenders. Adrian,
Yes, sir.
can I ask you a question? I'd like to know a little bit about our menu. Can you kind of take us through the menu a little bit?
We have a pretty vast selection here. We got flour, we got cartridges, edibles, topicals, tinctures, concentrates, all that good stuff.
Everything.
Pretty much everything, yeah, everything. But we could carry some more. I feel like we get a lot of people asking for a lot of products we don't have from time to time that I hear. You know, as far as edibles, cartridges. But from what we do have a good selection. It's always getting picked apart, no matter what it is. Any category of medical goodies you want to call it never really lasts here, which is a good thing. But for the most part, we always love seeing new products, but we also love seeing the products fly off the shelf. So as far as cartridges go, they're really popular here. I think that's what we have a majority of right now. Just a bunch of cartridges. Obviously our flower game's up there too, but
Do we have any of our LA Cannabis cartridges out of beta testing and on the shelf yet?
no, not yet. They're still in the middle, in the process of getting that done. That's what Maggie and Madel, I believe, are doing back there. But right now, no, we don't have any of our LA Cannabis cartridges on the shelf yet, unfortunately.
Well, interesting. I'm sure they'll be up soon, right? Yeah.
Yeah, real soon. We got Armin in here all the time, coming in to check, come pick apart different, compare and see what they can make back there. I'm excited for it. I heard they're not going to be that expensive either, which is pretty good because around here, a lot of people don't like the most expensive stuff. But it is good stuff. That's the thing. You pay for what you get for.
I actually tried to hit it, and it's very nice. Why don't you walk us through the flowers and the flower companies that we have here?
Yeah, so right here on our menu, we do have, there's no particular order, but we do have our menu of the strain name, and then right next to it, we typically have the name of the company that provides the strain. So we have pretty good amount from Wonder Brat, Candescent, Cream Genetics, Hit It, Florical. We obviously have our own HPR here, Holistic Pain Relief, OGTC, Organic Treatment Center from time to time. But 3C, Alpine, all these have been fairly new to us, but really popular actually. A lot of people like 3C, they like Alpine too. Cream Genetics has been taking the shot by storm though. Anything we have for them from hybrid, sativa, or indica just sells like crazy. They actually have a lot of strains I like too. That Lemon OG Kush, I can't stay away from that one. That one's pretty good.
The 3C one?
3C Farms?
3C, or is that the
No, that's
cream?
the Cream Genetics, the Lemon OG Kush.
I like the cream.
The Wi-Fi cookies?
The white
the white strawberry cheesecake.
cheesecake, I think, is my favorite. This is 28% here.
Yeah.
And now, how consistent are the batches from week to week?
From Cream Genetics, they're pretty consistent actually. We get that comment a lot from a lot of the patients, like, oh, where's that El Chapo? Where's the Death Star? Because it's typically the same bud. As far as their quality goes, they like to keep up their quality. That's what I like about Cream Genetics. Them and 3C, usually when we get new batches of their stuff, it's always kind of the same type of high. same type of smokes. Exactly what you'd be looking for as far as consistency as what you want in bud. Because a lot of the times, a lot of the batches, a lot of new weed is different,
Yeah.
So it does throw people off. Hey, this isn't as strong as last time, et cetera, et cetera.
So most of these are little boutique companies. I wouldn't say they're giant companies. So how often do they restock? How do you guys restock?
We typically, as soon as we see it running low, we try to restock. But a lot of it, like I said, flies off the shelf. It's pretty crazy because we get such small batches of the good stuff, and at first it's kind of hard to sell because it's like $50-$60 eighths. But once some of the patients are willing to try it and they do spend their money on it, they do realize like, oh crap, this is actually really good weed, and then they do come back and they're willing to spend on it more regularly.
You were just mentioning that they fly off the shelf.
Yeah.
So it's hard to keep the best in stock.
Yeah, so like I was mentioning, a
week
lot
to
of the
week.
weed is name brand now, actually.
Yeah.
That's the way that I guess the industry is going. So a lot of people come in here already kind of knowing what they want sometimes as far as like brands go.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, do you have this from, do you have Tahoe from 3C, or do you have El Chapo from et cetera, et cetera. Pacific Stone really, really does well here, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I
Do
think
we have
it's,
some of their?
at the moment,
Here
no,
at the
we're
moment?
completely sold out. That's how well they do here.
See, this illustrates my point, right? So, like, from week to week, you have to ask the bud tender to know what's best on any given day, right?
We have a lot of economic shoppers here, so a lot of people shop by price, not necessarily what they want, which is not always bad, but $23 eighths definitely can't keep them on the shelf here. Always flying off. And then $45 sevens. So that's really popular here.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of the people are still used to the older ways, more of the black market scheme that,
Yep.
used to be the weed industry.
Yep. I knew it well.
And now they can't really see the change, or they refuse to see the change. They don't want to realize that it's just a retail store now. That's
Yeah.
really what the weed industry is going towards. They want deals, they want BOGOs, they want specials, but that's kind of all dying out. You could just clearly see it.
And so we have some in-house strains ourselves, right? I mean,
Yes,
LA
yes, so,
Cannabis has in-house strains.
LA Cannabis, we do have our own strains. We have Fire OG, Dosey Dose, Wedding Cake, and now the new one, Gelato. That one's taking people by storm. A lot of people like the gelato. I do too,
Oh
actually.
yeah, gelato has become very
Excellent strain here.
recognized as a good strain.
It's gonna be
I like it too.
$34.50 for an eighth.
But I'll tell you, this white strawberry cheesecake from Cream here is probably the best bud I've smoked in a while.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty funny because a lot of even like the older OG smokers that just like, oh, just give me OG. They really, that white strawberry cheesecake really stands out to anybody and everybody
yeah.
here. 28% is really like the dagger with it. Just sells it really easily, but
Yeah. Well, the taste is excellent as well.
yeah, that too.
So looking at your strains, you have the Fire here. I noticed.
Currently, we only have the Fire right now. The other ones are currently growing, getting cut down, etc.
Yeah. So you have the same situation as the other companies.
Yeah, the
not
supply-
everything
the
is
supply and the
in
demand.
supply all the time.
The supply and the demand is pretty high right now, actually, and it takes a while to grow good quality weed. So we do appreciate.
Let me ask you a question here. Do you see a difference, a preference by gender and age in what somebody would want as far as flower and strains, or even edibles or something?
Yes and no, because I think everyone just is different. Everyone likes what they like. That's the hard part about weed. It's trial and error.
Yeah, and when it's constantly changing, you're constantly trying and
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's all these new strains, I guess, GMO strains, genetically modified strains. So that's why you don't really see a lot of the old school strains that you first saw in LA coming up. That's why a lot of this stuff is crossed, super sour diesel, white strawberry cheesecake, lava cake.
Yeah.
These weren't names you heard
No.
10 years ago.
whatever happened to Master Kush? You know
Exactly.
what I mean? It was,
Just
you know,
simple stuff like that. Blue
exactly.
Dream. So
Blue
now it's
Dream,
just-
pineapple,
exactly. Now it's
blueberry.
Wait. Blueberry.
Blueberry.
You have a book about blueberry right here. What is this?
I have the Canna Bible in my hands by Jason King. And let me turn to the paragraph on blueberry.
The Canna Bible.
Yes, page 44, blueberry. The real one. If only all breeders knew as much about their strains as DJ Short, the producer of Blueberry, does. The pedigree details of this Cannabis Cup 2000 winner are as follows. 3 strains, Highland Thai, Purple Thai, and Afghani Indica, were used to create Blueberry and others in DJ Short's collection. The Highland Thai, also called Juicy Fruit Thai, was a huge, slightly hermaphroditic, slow-finishing Thai sativa plant. The Purple Thai was a first-generation cross between Highland Oaxaca Gold, which is Mexican, and the Chocolate Thai. The Afghani Indica was just that, an Afghani Indica. The Blueberry was discovered and stabilized from a cross between the parents of a female Juicy Fruit Thai, or female Purple Thai, and the male Afghani Indica. I hold a special place in my heart for the real Blueberry. The flowers are so fragrant, so blue-smelling. The succulent blueberry flavor stays on your tongue and your mind for hours. Highly recommended.
Now back to the show.
Just beyond Blueberry, you got Pink Picasso, just crazy names,
Pink
you know?
Picasso was
Wedding
pretty
crack.
good.
The Pink Picasso is really good. I believe that's a mix of Girl Scout cookies and Zittles. That's
And
why it
what
has that
company is the
sweet
Pink Picasso again?
That's from the company Wonder Bread. I am actually sold out of Pink Picasso, but I do have Beyond Blueberry,
Beyond Blueberry.
the banana OG.
Let's smell the Beyond Blueberry. That smells pretty blueberryish. The sound guy? What do you say?
Blueberry.
I like that.
Yeah, that one's actually pretty popular too. That one's also flying off the shelf. The banana OG, I'm very impressed with the way it looks. Actually.
Very covered with
Super
little
shiny.
trichomes. Wow, that's such an amazing magnifying glass you have here.
Thanks.
If it's gone when we leave, you know where it went. So, have you tested every one of these buds in here? And
I can responsibly say yes, I have.
and you get training sessions from the different companies?
Yeah, a lot of the times, some of the companies do come in. They give us a little quick educational, pop-up. They let us see the product. They give us non-medicated products sometimes just to try out. Some edible companies, but, we've had Nug, 3C, Jetty, Pax. We've had a few companies down here, and I honestly enjoy those too because it really does give me more insight to what they're trying to provide, and that way I could actually build a relationship with my patient and give them the full breakdown to what I heard, because as a consumer you want to know what you're buying, especially with all this vape news scaring people. It was for a while no one was buying vape, so I had to explain to people there's like the middleman, vaping, the vitamin E, all of that, like everything you get here is totally legal, tested. We've never had health issue problem here.
Yeah.
Biggest issue we've had with is like a return or a cracked cart, So it's pretty cool to be able to educate people, educate the community, because a lot of people just knows the weed shop as, I'll go in, I get what I get, that's it,
Right.
So we do actually build relationship with the patients, and we do see a lot of people come more and more and, recommend more people to come in because they like the way we do things here, or,
I got a question.
What's up?
I'm Joe, the sound guy. I have a question over here. You have something called My Best Bud.
Yes.
That's pot for animals, or what is that?
It's not necessarily pot. It's a CBD tincture.
Oh.
So what that is it's formulated liquid for an animal to take, for them to safely consume. Because some dogs, cats, they go through what we go through,
So you don't suggest blowing smoke in their face? Nothing
No,
like that.
medically that's
No.
proven
You
to
blow
be
it in
bad.
their ear.
Oh, in their
In their
ear.
ear.
Yeah,
but-
that's for dogs, right?
Yeah, for dogs. But for the most part, I wouldn't recommend that.
Okay.
We used to get buckwheat really high.
Back in
That
the
was my
day, yeah,
friend's dog.
people, but now there's actually science, so they say it's bad for animals.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But-
this is for more of, it depends on the dosage. So some are for pain, some can be for anxiety. This stuff actually sells pretty well during 4th of
Animal
July.
anxiety.
Do you have anything for
Separation anxiety. Maybe I
That's
should
it.
give Mango some when we go away to Santa Cruz.
Do you have anything for excess barking?
Maybe the 20-1 or the
20
4-1,
Okay, good.
because that'd calm them down, mellow them down, wind them back.
Good.
You know.
Cool.
And then the 1-to-1's good for, you know, some dogs get cancer, some dogs break a bone, get hit by cars, etc. So and they're still hyper, so that, you know, help them with the pain, mellow them down.
How many different companies provide cannabis products for animals? Looks like a few here.
For that I know right now, it's like 1 or 2 that we carry from time to time.
My Best Bud and Papa and Barkley.
Wow.
I'm not too sure exactly if Papa and Barkley's for animals. I know it has a dog on it with an old man, but we've actually had some patients say it's the same thing. I give my dog this dose too, and I'm just
why would a dose differ between an animal and a human? So, what is the best-selling edible or edibles here?
Best-selling
What are the best-selling edibles?
Without a doubt, it has to be gummy candy in general. Majority of our stuff is sugar encoded, obviously, but we mostly sell cookies, chocolate, and gummy candy. Right now, the company Flav Sugar Belts, those are really popular. I don't have any in stock. And then the Camino gummies. Camino has taken the shop by storm as far as... Well, they're one of
the Caminos.
I'm currently sold out of them.
Cold,
too, as well.
yeah.
So what's really popular about Camino is they're one of the few gummy or I guess edible companies out there that actually give you that type of strain feeling or like what you want to feel. So there's a hybrid, an indica,
instead of
sativa.
just a generic edible.
Exactly. So a lot of people ask when they buy gummies, is it indica or is it sativa? Is it hybrid? And we typically have to explain that. And a lot of these edible companies use hybrid weed when they, you know, make their edible or they distill their edibles. So, you know, we break that down to the patients as well. But these are pretty popular too. We just got these back like not even a week ago, and they're already kind of flying off the shelf.
Smokies edibles.
Smokies edibles.
Infused sour blackberry fruit chews.
They're like Sour Patch Kids. Some are covered in sugar, some are just regular. But they're gummy candy. They're really, really good.
Okay, so I noticed that some of these have CBD and as well as THC. This the Nug
You got a lot of people that can't smoke.
matcha chocolate.
So we have a lot of people that their alternative is edible, and we actually have a lot of religious edible patients because they come in here and that's all they buy, you know. On the daily, come in and buy a chocolate bar or a gummy to get them to the day, I guess, because smoking doesn't do it for them or doesn't hit them the same. Because the high is totally different. It is a THC high, but the CBD stuff is pretty popular too. Oh, we have bath bombs right there, as you can see.
So, and what would that do? Having
That's
25 milligrams of THC going over my skin.
That kind of like, it helps like an Epsom salt bath, you know?
Yeah.
Helps with pain or any kind of inflammatory issues
I
you may
used
be
to
having.
Make my own cream and
See?
with
So the
coconut
THC
oil.
and the CBD is actually really good. Those are pretty popular amongst men as well. We got a
Really?
bunch. Yeah, we got a lot of patients. It don't
Well, I
matter.
like taking a bath every once in a while. Joe, the sound guy, do you like taking a bath?
No, I can't fit.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right,
the
he's too
tall
tall.
people problems, exactly. Like a Vegas style jacuzzi, and it's pretty hard.
Wow, I never thought of that actually.
6 foot club.
Nadine, do you have a problem with that too? No? She's a few inches shorter than Joe. Okay.
You're pretty tall.
Yeah, 6'5" and 6.
We got tea bags. We got
Tea bags. Now that's an interesting thing.
yes, very popular among all ages.
And how many milligrams of THC in each tea bag?
These are the tea bags.
These are the tea bags?
Well, this is a pack of 10. It depends because some are CBD rich, some are THC rich. So it
Right.
depends on the patient. What are they looking for?
Oh, yeah,
What are they
this
looking to
is-
feel when they drink it? Some people just want to get high straight up. Some people actually need it for the medicinal reason of they can't sleep, they're depressed, anxiety, etc.
Yeah, this one says Tranquilly Tea, caffeine-free chamomile valerian with low THC and medium CBN. Now that's interesting. We don't see much CBN around here.
No, actually, no. Because we actually get a lot of patients coming in here and like they ask us some pretty serious medical questions sometimes. I have psoriasis, I have glaucoma, I have severe back pain I've had for 30 years, and I'm just like, I sell weed, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't answer your question to the fullest, but I can help you to what I know. So
I was thinking about something the other day. Now, when I was a kid, we'd smoke a joint, and you would have uncontrollable munchies. You know, and this property is good for cancer patients who have to go through chemo and then they lose their appetite. Now, do we still know what strains induce hunger
induce hunger, yes.
or food cravings?
There are certain strains that they do claim that do more, that give you more of that munchie effect than
Yeah.
others do.
Is that
But I feel that's more of trial and error too, because I can smoke a lot of indica, still get hungry. But I have noticed if I do smoke sativa, I do feel like I'm a little bit hungrier sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know though. My favorite pre-roll is gonna be that Nug Premium right there.
These guys?
The single black
one
one
here.
right there, yeah. It's the last one. We had like 10 of them yesterday, and it's the last
Grape
one. It's
A.
crazy. It's 37%, but we've had up to 42%. when it comes.
37%? They don't put any concentrates in here, do they?
I guess you could call it a concentrate, because what they do is they have dried up THC diamonds, THCA diamonds of it. They crush it up and they mix it with the weed. So it's just a heavy hit. Like, it makes my head ring, and that's really hard to obtain that
Maybe
for
we should
me.
take this.
Yeah, no, that's honestly like a two-hitter quitter, which is pretty rare to say nowadays. That's a two-hitter quitter.
How much?
Those were like $20.
Yeah.
$20. And although they're $20 for a joint, they sell like crazy, I'm telling you. So we've put a lot of people onto them. And one time I sold one to like this first time out of the Japanese guy. I sold it to him. He came back with his friends the next day and they bought every single one we had. And they bought like 18 of those joints for $20 a piece. So I guess it's pretty cool to see people from all over the world. We get people coming straight from the airport,
Yeah.
which is, I guess, a good thing. You know, they come in
What
here with
was?
full luggage. You know, they wait in the lobby for their Uber after. It's pretty crazy to just think that that's the first place people want to. We're the
Go
first place
straight
that
from the
people want
airport
to
to
come
here.
to, straight from the airport. Not even their
That's what I
hotel or
would do.
Airbnb. You know, they want to get weed, then get settled in. That's the way to do it.
And they don't have to go to Amsterdam anymore.
So we do appreciate all our patients, but it's just pretty cool to see. I've been here for almost 2 years, so seeing the changes as far as like the legal changes and what had to be changed from the older days, from when I was starting to pick up weed to when the industry really started getting impacted. It's just been crazy to see like what people pick up and how they're adapting to it, because honestly we've lost a lot of patients too, unfortunately.
Because of all the taxes and everything.
But at the same time, every day a new kid turns 21 and he's never paid this much for a joint, or he didn't know what it was like to buy. So it's a bittersweet balance.
Well, if anybody cares about their health, they would probably want to buy legal, legal cannabis.
We definitely
Yeah.
encourage patients to buy weed from us. Obviously, they would say, yeah, of course you're going to tell me. But from like you said, a health point of view, you know, a lot of people are going to continue to smoke no matter what, even if they're not supposed to. So might as well get the good stuff, you know, because
Exactly.
you can buy that backyard boogie, but you know, you're getting a deal. But are you even getting high? Are you even getting good weed?
Yeah, I'll
et
take
cetera,
a
et cetera.
gram of really amazing stuff over like a whole ounce of bunk.
Exactly. So
Well, Adrian, thank you for talking to Cali High today. It's
No
really been
problem.
a pleasure. And
thank you for having me.
yeah, you've been very knowledgeable, and thanks for answering all our questions.
Yeah.
Wow. Great crew.
A great crew. What an amazing visit we had today to LA Cannabis.
Yep. Started at the front and worked our way back.
All the way back to the science lab.
Yep.
That was really cool. So, speaking of science, do you have any questions, Joe?
No, but our viewers may have some questions.
So if you have any questions, go ahead and send us a message on Facebook or Instagram at Cali High LA.
Tune in next week for episode 5.